this is how it would. Question was, when playing collar and sleeve guard, should the right, or your dominant hand rather, be in the collar or on the sleeve? So are you putting your right hand up? In my case, I'm right hand dominant, or are you on the other side? What do you think?
So this opens up like a very interesting like conceptual question of in jiu-jitsu, are we actually have like right hand dominant, left hand dominant techniques? Because like, you look at boxing, you look at judo, there's like an actual matchup of thinking about how you're gonna, if you're righty, if you have like a regular stance, how are you gonna match up against a southpaw, like an orthodox, like a goofy situation to have like the opposite hand forward. So in jiu-jitsu, we don't really talk about that too much.
Sometimes with guard passing,
Sometimes
like
with guard passing.
like saying if you can learn to pass to the less common side.
Yeah, but the thing usually too is like, even if you're passing to the left, 90% of people is still leading the same way, and like doing the I'm gonna do like my knee cup to the left, and then that's gonna set up something to the right. But I'm still doing headquarters and whatever the same way. And then as you get better, usually people start, if they're good passers, they can do both sides equally well eventually. But when we play guard, I mean, like most people, even like high level, like let's say they play De La Riva, it's usually left side De La Riva. Right? And then if they do anything to the right side, like they're tilted that side, there might be like a reverse De La Riva with the right foot, or like a K guard on that side. They usually don't play De La Riva with the right hook in.
Yeah, and if there is like a other side game, it's like supplemental, and it's just kind of like getting you back to the side you actually want to do. Like
I competed in Chicago Open in the Masters Division, a few weeks ago now, like over a month now probably. And then like the one thing I remember, like one of the matches I had there was the guy I was fighting kept passing to my right side, left leg forward. So his right leg was behind, so like all my De La Riva and like regular open guard game was like fell so off because he was hiding the leg I wanted to get to, and I couldn't get a good De La Riva hook on it. And then he was just like ended up like straining my groin because like he just had like passing to this side so heavy, and then he just had that like his left knee in pushing down the entire time. And then like whenever he did like tried to like a knee cut, it would be to my left side instead of the right side. And it like Masters was like a 5-minute match for like the first 2 minutes. I was like, what is happening? why do I feel so off? And then I was like, oh, he's passing like orthodox.
And so it wasn't just that he went the other direction; it's that the entire setup was reversed.
Yes. So he's mirrored. So in judo, like if you look at high level people, because in judo it's very normal. Usually have like 2, 1, 2, maybe 3 throws. Like that's your tokuwasa. That's like your preferred technique, and then you have all these ways to set it up. And then those guys they have like a specific gripping sequences and step sequences. Like I'm gonna grip here, then I'm gonna grip here, then I'm gonna do this to make him step there, and then I'm gonna go for my throw. In jiu-jitsu, we don't really talk about that too much. They're like, you play guard or you pass.
Yeah, and judo they'll have like right on right versus right on left. Like, or how are they leading? How are you leading?
Yes.
How's their like? They really have to break all that down for like the gripping sequences and their setup sequences. Like, and it totally changes if the person reverses.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, concept aside, is your dominant side is not going to be right versus left. It's just going to be whatever grip you get to, and you put the reps in.
Yeah. Back to the original question, should you be playing dominant hand in the collar or dominant hand on the sleeve? I do dominant hand in the collar probably just because that's how I was taught, and I did it for 15 years.
Yeah.
So I don't have a smart answer for why I do it that way, other than it just feels strong because I've done it so many times that way.
Yeah, and then like a lot of times, like when you play guard, especially these open guards, once we start tilting, is like what side do you feel more comfortable tilted to? So if we're playing this guard here, and I have my right foot on the sleeve, my left foot is going to be on the hip, so I'm going to be tilted this way when I'm playing, right? I'm going to be like on this situation. But I could also be here. And then can you play both? Sure. But how I think this foot, the foot on the sleeve, matters more than your grips, because the bottom foot is kind of like just keeping distance most of the time.
This is the one that's dealing with the actual guard passing.
Yeah, this one is the one that's dealing and pummeling and setting up the triangle. So, if you're righty, right, this is your dominant foot. Like, do you have more dexterity and like more feel here, so you can deal with this and clear and shoot better triangles with. So I wouldn't worry for this specific question, this specific guard. I wouldn't worry so much about the grips as much as the leg that's going to be doing the pummeling.
Yeah, and if you're still a white belt, you could just drill both sides.
Yes.
Before it's been ingrained in your brain too long to don't know how to switch. You'll probably end up finding there's a side you're better at or that has more utility because of, like, you run up into people who are going to lead with a certain leg more of the time. And that's how things tend to fit together is most people are right-handed, most people lead with their right hand or their knee or however they've been taught to lead, and then like it just makes sense for how you deal with them, which is then why we get those people, the lefties or the southpaws or the switch stance people, you're like, oh, I'm going to have something for that. So it's a long way around to say, try both and see if you can make both work, and then you'll probably find you're actually better at one or the other, and then just go with that one, because there isn't any right way to do it beyond what works for you.